Right, so I've decided to do the metal strip in two pieces. This part of the boat is actually quite flat, so rather than trying to bend a really large piece and have a flat bit at the end, I'll do the flat bit in one section and then the curly bit in one section, which should make life a little bit easier. Now then, to get a nice sort of finish, the piece needs to be inset, and the hull and the new plate need to be as flush with each other as possible. That's pretty good there, not bad at all. A little bit further up we've got the plate is standing proud just a tiny bit. So when you first start tacking the piece in, you can actually just kind of flex it with your hand, or just lean on it and then put a tack on. And I've got it pretty good. You know, that's not bad. There's maybe 1/4 mil, 1/2 mil discrepancy there. And you kind of get it pretty good just by hand pressure. But once you've got it tacked in a few places, there's not enough flex. And down here I've got quite a large gap. And this ugly thing that I've got welded on there, that's a dog. And it's going to help me level up the plate. And simply, this wedge, which is a sort of a steel fixer's wedge, and you just drop it in the gap there, and if it's not too much in the light, you can see it happening. Alright, and then basically it's really nice and controllable, and just with a hammer you can tap the wedge, and you can probably see it's getting nice and flush now. It's pretty good. If anything, that's gone in a little bit, so I'll just... There you go, that's fairly well adjusted. So that piece there, and it's standing proud just a tiny bit, but I'm not really too worried about fractions of a millimetre, it's not a problem. And now I can tack that piece there and it will stay. And I can there we go. Right, now that bit's tacked in place, and basically the plan is that I just go all the way around the plate, getting it all levelled up now. Alright, okay, that's good. It's levelled up this side for me as well, so I'll just tack this other corner. Yeah, beautiful. Hopefully the splatter hasn't knackered my camera lens. And then the wedge simply comes out, and the dog, and this is the cool bit about this, because of the way that welds are, they're really good in tension, but they're not so good at bending. I've just tacked one side of the dog, which means that in this direction it's nice and solid, really hard. Well, I might have welded it a bit too much. There you go, you can just snap it off, and there's a little bit of weld on the boat, and you can grind that flat and it's gone, like it never happened. So the dog and wedge thing, it's something that I learned when I was at sea, and it's fantastic. It's just a really simple bit of engineering, and you can pretty much move very heavy, very stiff bits of metal and get them nice and level. And it's really, really controllable, and anybody can do it. And you can just use this, you know, the dog itself is just two bits of flat bar welded into an L shape. And you can use it for so many different things, and you can push one piece in, you can lift another piece out, and you can put huge amounts of force on stuff. So yeah, basically it'll be dog and wedge to get all of this leveled up, little tacks in place, when it's all nice and level. I mean, right, if you look on the edge there, that's pretty good. When it's all nice and level, then it all gets welded from the inside first. The welds from the inside, I'm running the weld, I mean the hull is only 3 mil, the piece of plate is 5, and I'm running a weld of quite high current for what metal is, which will mean that my welds penetrate all the way through and will actually stick out a little bit in some places. And then I'll just simply run the grinder down the weld on this side, and weld it from the outside, and then I'm sort of guaranteed to have a really solid full penetration weld. I'm using 1 mil wire, and I'm running at about 190 to 200 amps. With about 12 meters per second of wire, 12 meters per minute of wire. So yeah, that's the sort of settings I've got there. And I'll just quickly show you the little welder that I've got. Torch, this is quite sort of down the road. There's a real nice engineering supplies place. Torch was 50 quid, it's a 250 amp torch. Here is it's a Murex Transmig, which has been lent me by the yard. Lovely bit of kit, 3-phase. I think it goes up to 400 amps. Yeah, and it's been a real joy to work with. And the good thing about it is these hoses up there, the cables and hoses. There's a wire feed unit which is separate and nice and mobile, and I can get that inside the boat, transport it all over the place. So it's really, really good for what I'm doing. You know, with access is a bit poor in some places. So yeah, there's my welder.